Okay, so to continue with, so until here we have completed, one second. So until here we have completed arithmetic mean in all the three series. That is your starting with individual series, then discrete series. Under discrete series you have two methods, shortcut method, direct method and shortcut method. Under continuous series again you have three methods. Okay, under continuous series again three methods: direct method, shortcut method, step deviation method. So we have finished this complete table. Okay, now going on further, let's just see few problems which where we feel it is important for you to understand. Okay, so every problem you have calculated the values. Okay, I'm just brushing through all this. Yes, coming to open and class intervals, very important. You will have one problem with open and class intervals. At least 4 out of 5 exams you will have one problem of open and class intervals, either in 6 marks or in 14 marks, or sometimes in both the mains. You can expect open and class intervals for arithmetic mean, median, mode, and other further chapters also. Even in dispersion also, dispersion and skewness also, you can expect these questions. Fine. So let us just revise the arithmetic mean here. Just 1 second. Hold on. Okay. So to continue with arithmetic mean here. So you're supposed to calculate arithmetic mean from the following, and they've given you the open and class intervals. Now open and class intervals will be of two types. Now the first type is below, okay, and the other type is above. Now let's understand what is the difference between two. Now if you have below 10, below 20, which means below 10 means you will be taking from 0 to 10. Now, how do I consider it is from 0? I have to see the next number. So what is the difference between these two numbers? 10 is the difference. So that will be my class interval, 0 to 10. Now the next series will be 10 to 20, because it is below 20. Next will be 20 to 30. So that is below 30. So this is all the open and class intervals here. Then the other set of open and class intervals are above 10, above 20. Again, you have 10 difference here, but your class intervals will start from 10. So your class intervals here will be 10 to 20, because above, more than, okay, above 10. Then above 20 will be 20 to 30. Another language or another way of giving the problems is less than. Just a second. Okay, less than or more than. Okay, less than 10. Less than 10 again is like below 10. More than 10 is like above 10. Then coming to the very important part where maximum of the students will go wrong is your cumulative frequency. Whenever you see open and class intervals, cumulative frequency, okay, cumulative frequency is a must. Okay, the data will have cumulative frequency. Now what is cumulative frequency? The addition of the frequency will be given. Okay, one after the other they would have been added. Now when the question says below 10, below 20, okay, now in any sort of cumulative frequency, just find the least number. Now if you see this, the least number is 4. So start from the least number. So the first number will be 4. Now for the next one, 14 minus 4, that will be 10. For the next number, 34 minus 14. Next, 54 minus 32, 70 minus 54, 81 minus 70. So first write down the least number, and then you will have to subtract, go on subtracting the bigger number from the smaller number. This is for below. But for above, what happens is the small number will be at the end. Okay, the small number will be at the end. Now, if the small number is at the end, which means write down the small number first or the smallest number first, then go on subtracting the previous number. Let's say the same class intervals, if you had ulta, okay, you had something like this: 4, 14, 32, 54, 70, 81, 90. So if this was your class interval, so first write 4 as it is, then 14 minus 4, 32 minus 14, 54 minus 32. You'll have to go from the smallest number to the biggest number. So that will be your cumulative frequency. Okay, any doubts in cumulative frequency? This is where many of them go wrong. You will not know from where to start and where to end. Do not get confused. Please understand the question and then solve. The only solution is that. Fine. Now let's quickly go to the problem. This problem, they have solved it with the class interval frequency. As usual, they have found the midpoint, multiplied f into m. Okay, in one table only we have solved all the 3 methods. Okay, so that is why we have so many columns. So in the examination, see the question, understand or analyze how many columns you require, and then you will have to solve the problem. Okay, so that is your open and class intervals. Sometime, and see, this is the below one. Again, yeah, that was above and this is below. Now if you see this question here, wait 1 second, this was also below. Okay, so both are below only. So let's see one more question which says above, so for you to understand. Yeah, more than. Now this will give you a better idea. Now if you see here, it starts, the least number is below here in the last. So from here you have to start the frequency 10, then 20 minus 10, 10 again, 36 minus 20, 16, 45 minus 36, 9. Like this you have to do the subtraction, and then go on solving the problem by using the normal formulas. Then we went on to statement problems. Okay, statement problems, and this problem is again repeated in the examination. This variety of problem is important for you to understand. Okay, so A Limited wants to distribute a bonus to his employees as follows. This is asked in dispersion and skewness. If you remember, we solved the same problem once again in dispersion and skewness. Okay, so this problem is very, very important. Please practice this problem in different scenarios. So they've given us monthly salary and bonus. This is, don't blindly take this as X and F. No, read the question further. The actual salaries of the employees are given to us. So these are the salaries of employees, and for these employees there are bonus criteria given. So we have to analyze and restructure this question to solve. Okay, so to go on further, write down those class intervals, and if you see here 220 and above is given, do not change anything, just write down the question. See these individual series numbers, mark the tally bars. I hope everybody know how to mark the tally bars. So after 4 numbers, the 5th one should be a diagonal line. So that should be from right to left only. Don't draw the other way around. Okay, so once you find the tally bars, and again tally bars, be careful, see if it is exclusive series or inclusive series, and then do it. Okay, we will come to exclusive, inclusive once I finish this problem. Okay, so tally bars are given. Then using tally bars, you will understand the frequencies. Now take the bonus. Okay, so this using tally bars, once you get the frequencies, then take bonus. Bonus will be the X. Now find fx and then apply the formula. Now this total of sigma fx will be the total bonus, and arithmetic mean will be the average bonus. Here again, while giving conclusions, many of them have done wrong. So the total of sigma fx is the total bonus, and arithmetic mean will be the average bonus. Clear? So that was another important problem. And one more similar problem also we have solved here for the scholarship. Okay, I hope that was clear. Anybody has doubt in such problems? Everybody understood that? Okay, so now one more important concept for us to understand is inclusive series and exclusive series. Okay, we will understand what is inclusive and exclusive. I will take this as example. Now, inclusive series and exclusive series. I'll just change the color for you to understand. Yeah. Now, here you have a class interval of 60 to 65. And if you see, the 65 is again repeated below. Okay. So this type of class interval is called as exclusive series. Why exclusive? Because you will be excluding this upper limit of the class interval. So that is why it is called exclusive series. Suppose if the same class interval or the problem was given as 60 to 64, 65 to 70, 65 to 69, 70 to 74, 75 to 79. If it was like this, then it is called as inclusive series. Now, how do we understand it's inclusive? Because we include both in a lower limit and upper limit. Okay, the first one is lower limit and the next one is upper limit. So this will be inclusive, and if you leave out the upper limit here, then it is called exclusive. And one important rule to follow all the time, very, very, very important rule is, in every time you see a problem, if it is in exclusive series, that is like this, go on and solve, no problem. Suppose if it is given in inclusive series, again many of them does this wrong. In the recent test also many students did wrong, had gone wrong in this. When you see an inclusive series, if the number here and the next lower limit is not repeated, that is inclusive. At such time, please convert inclusive to exclusive and then solve the problem. Now, how to convert? You have to calculate something called correction factor. Okay, the formula for correction factor is the lower limit of the class except the first class. You cannot take 60, take 65. Okay, so you have to consider 65, don't take 60. So lower limit of the class except the first class minus upper limit of the previous class. So 65 minus 64 divided by 2. Now 65 minus 64 is 1. 1 by 2 is 0.5. Now once I get the correction factor, what should I do? Add the correction factor, just subtract the correction factor here, 0.5, and add the correction factor to 64. So one side you're supposed to subtract, the other side you're supposed to add. Now once you do like this, you will get a continuous series again. Okay, now once I subtract here, let's see what is my new values or new class interval that I get. So I get 59.5 to 64.5. Next I will get 64.5 to 69.5. Clear? So I'm getting a continuous series. See, I have changed from inclusive to exclusive here. So be very careful with this. And you, after conversion of the class intervals, then all the methodologies, everything will remain same. Okay, clear with that? Any doubts in exclusive and inclusive? Always convert inclusive to exclusive and solve. Exclusive is the only format you are supposed to solve in. Clear? Understood? Any doubts until here? Okay, now let's go to the next concept, that is your combined mean. Now, combined mean, we have already seen the formula. So if you have two or more arithmetic mean given in the problem, and you'll have to combine both together and find arithmetic mean, then you use the combined mean formula. Okay, so to go on further, if you have more than one combined mean given, or if you have more than one data given, use this formula. Now, first problem is very direct. So x bar 1, n1, x bar 2, n2 is directly given. Sometimes you can expect this for 2 marks. Okay, that can be taken. Then directly find the combined mean and give the conclusion the combined mean of the series is. Then if you have a statement problem, read thoroughly with the statement problem and then analyze which is arithmetic mean and which is the other part. Now if you see this question, the arithmetic mean age of first group of 80 students, this is where many of them have gone wrong. Please understand, arithmetic mean age of first group of 80 students. So 80 is not your x bar, but it is n. Okay, n1 is 80. Arithmetic mean of 80 students is 10 years. So 10 years will be your arithmetic mean. I hope everybody is able to follow that. So n is 80, x bar 1 is 10 years. Then for the second group, there are second group of 20 students. So there are 20 students, that is n2 is 20 and x bar 2 is 15. And what are you supposed to find? Find the arithmetic mean age of all the students. Excuse me. All the students means combined mean. So write something like this. Given x bar 1 is 10, n1 is 80, x bar 2 is 15, n2 is 20. Then combined mean x bar 1, 2 is question mark. Then go on solving the problem. Then you will be able to easily get the answer. Okay, so this is one type of problem. Now in combined mean again, you will have other type of problems where you will be, maybe you have to find out x2, see something like this, x2. Even in this problem, again, many of them take it as x1, x2, no, it is x bar 1. This x bar is important. Even in the formula, don't write it wrong. Okay, at once they will just put one line and they will cut the marks. So be careful. So N1 is a factory employs 100 workers, of whom 60 work in the first shift. So total are 100. Okay, employs 100 workers, of whom 60 are in the first shift and 40 are in the second shift. Understood? And going on further, you will have to analyze the question and one second, you will have to solve the question. So if you're not able to understand the question, read it more than 2 to 3 times. Then you will be able to understand it better. Now there again here, see sometimes x bar 1, x bar 2 you are supposed to find. Sometimes you have to find n1, n2, here also x bar 2. Such questions you are supposed to practice it better. See here again, n1, n2, both you are supposed to find out. Okay, you will be using the equations here to find. Excuse me. And again, when it comes to equation, be careful how to use the equations and find. You will usually have simultaneous equations. You can find using those simultaneous equations. It is easy to find. Okay, so that is your combined mean. Any doubts in combined mean? Anybody has doubt in combined mean? Even if you practice all the problems that has been solved in the classwork, you will be very, very clear with whatever is being done. Okay, now let us go to the last concept, that is weighted arithmetic mean. Okay, so this is the last concept in arithmetic mean. Now arithmetic mean is simple arithmetic mean which will give importance to everything. Now here we are assigning weights and we are calculating the values. So we already saw the formula, x bar w is equal to sigma wx by sigma w. And again in this, excuse me, and again in this problem also read the question thoroughly. They will give you the x values, they will also give you the weights. Now if you see this first problem, a candidate obtained the following marks in PU examination where the subjects marks are given. So these subjects marks are nothing but x. Okay, and again they've given you the weights also. So you have 1, 1, 3, 3, 3 and 2 respectively. Respectively means 1 is for English, again 1 is for Kannada, 3 physics, 3 chemistry. So you have to take that number for the particular subject. Now going on further, calculation of weighted mean marks, subjects for your reference, marks of that particular subject, weights, however it is given here directly, just put it out. Now, if they ask you simple mean, in this problem only, if they ask you simple mean, what you have to do is add all these values. Okay, sigma x. Okay, add all these values. Now, just add all these values and say me the number. Quickly. Just add the marks. 60, 50, 80. Then you have 70, 90 and 70. Okay, 420. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Meghna. Okay, so sigma x is 420. So once you get sigma x, how many number of subjects you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have 6 subjects. So simple mean is equal to sigma x by n, which is equal to 420 divided by 6. Okay, how much do you get? 420 by 6. Can someone calculate and say me the answer quickly? 70. Okay, so 70. Thank you for the answer. 70 is your simple mean. Yeah, good. Okay, so 70 is your simple mean. So when they are asking you simple mean, just add up all these marks here and divide by the number of subjects. Okay, so that will give you simple mean. Now, any doubts in the simple mean? Can we go for the weighted mean? Okay, so weighted mean, they have given us marks, they have given us weights. Multiply marks and weights column. So you have to multiply these two column and you will get WX. Now once you get WX, add them, that is sigma WX. So 970. So if you come down here, you have x bar W is equal to sigma WX by sigma W, that is 970 divided by 13. Okay, so don't, again I'm repeating, don't confuse simple mean with weighted mean. Simple mean is different, weighted mean is different. So 970 by 13, so your weighted mean is 74.91. okay, so that is the weighted mean or weighted arithmetic mean. Clear? So this will be the weighted mean. Just a second. This will be the simple mean and weighted mean. We have solved simple mean and weighted mean problems also. Okay, so that was one problem. And let's just see. This is again the problem with marks only. Okay, so yeah, here we have solved it twice because we were supposed to get 2 averages. So go through such problems also, they are very important. Yeah, I think somewhere like this with index we had solved simple mean also. Yeah, so this one. So if you see simple mean here, we have calculated sigma x by n, and then we have multiplied weights into marks and wx by n. So that is also weighted mean. Simple mean and weighted mean, both are calculated. Okay, so this is your arithmetic mean chapter. So we started with all the values. 1 second, I'll just go back to, okay, sorry. So we have, just hold on. So we started with this arithmetic mean and individual series and all that. So we completed all of this 3 types: individual, discrete and continuous. Then we understood combined mean, weighted mean. Then we also understood what is open end class interval. And see, if they ask you what is closed end class interval, no, the normal class interval is called closed end. So where you have both upper limit and lower limit. Okay, 100 to 200. Okay, all these are closed ends. Open end means above, below, or more than, less than. Okay, all these will be your upper end and lower end class intervals. Okay, then for all of open end class intervals, you will have to take cumulative frequencies. So be careful of cumulative frequency. Then inclusive and exclusive class intervals. So always solve the problems with exclusive class intervals and not inclusive. If they have given inclusive, convert them to exclusive. Okay, so this is your complete arithmetic mean. Now for BBA students, you have 2 more extra concept in arithmetic mean, that is missing frequencies and incorrect arithmetic mean. So for those missing frequency and incorrect arithmetic mean, you will have to just be careful with the formulas. Now if you go by the formulas, just go through the formula of incorrect arithmetic mean. That is, you will have to find the correct sigma x. Okay, so correct sigma x is equal to incorrect sigma x minus incorrect value plus correct value. So you have to use this. This is only for BBA students. Okay, so this correct sigma x is equal to incorrect sigma x minus incorrect value plus correct value. So use this formula to find correct sigma x, then divide this, just a second, then divide this correct sigma x by the n, then you will get the correct arithmetic mean. So this is one concept. Another concept is missing frequencies, where you will have to assign the x for the missing frequency. Then you will get a continuous simultaneous equation. After using simultaneous equations, you have to find the frequency. Sometimes it is given in continuous series, sometimes it is given in the discrete series. So for all the missing frequencies, if you have one missing frequency, give it as A. If you have more than one, take it as A and B. Okay, then as usual, solve the problem. And when you solve the problem, you will end up with equations. Okay, equation 1, equation 2. So make sure you solve them simultaneously, so that once you solve them simultaneously, you will be getting the frequency, the missing frequencies A and B. So these are 2 extra concepts which is included in arithmetic mean for BBA students. Okay, I hope that everybody is clear with whatever we went through today. Any doubts? Everybody is clear? Please go through all the problems.